I want to tell you a story. This is the third day of Ukrainian invasion, the Russian invasion against a peaceful country, Ukraine. I woke up in the morning, I saw the news, I looked at the internet, I had my coffee, and I had my second coffee, I had my third coffee. I watched the United Nations security meeting. I read with great interest what the two presidents, the president of China and the president of Russia, talked on the phone. Apparently, by the time on before or even during I posted my previous video, the president of China, Mr. President Xi Jinping, already picked up the phone and talked with his counterpart, president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. Very good, a good move. Any results of that? Except words and exchange of opinion and basically, Mr. President, in my limited understanding, Mr. President Xi Jinping told Mr. President Putin that the invasion is not a military operation, it's a full-scale invasion with 190,000 troops or 175,000 air, land, and sea kind of invasion with bombing of I don't know how many cities. There are 16, there are 17, 18, 20 cities. Surrounding the capital of an independent and sovereign country, recognized by everybody on the face of this planet. I mean everybody except one person, Mr. President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. And basically, Mr. President of China told Mr. Vladimir Putin the obvious that that kind of operation, special military operation, attracted a lot of international attention. Yes, it did. And it is no good for the prestige of Russia, it is no good for the prestige of China, it is no good for the personal prestige of an international standing of the President of Russia. And yeah, as I said in my video, it is absolutely a fucking disaster for the prestige of China too, unfortunately. I say this with great respect and profound sadness. But probably about this subject I'm gonna talk in a separate video. Now I want to tell a story. I'm a storyteller. I'm not a geopolitical analyst. I'm not an internet guy. I don't stay on TikTok. I don't do funny kind of things. I talk about things that I saw in the world with simple words. And most of I wrote a story, more or less the story of my life, a novel semi-autobiographical, where history is the background of the life of the characters, the love story, the hopes, the dreams, the aspiration, the adventures, the emigration, the coming back from emigration, and building a house and finding love again. The story is the story of this t-shirt, Be Strong, Wuhan. No, I did not run yesterday on the mall and I made myself a t-shirt like this. No, just for the video. It is a genuine story. One morning I woke up 2 years ago. I open the TV and I find out on the news that is a terrible kind of unknown kind of virus somewhere in China, in a city that I have no idea that is on the face of this earth, that exist on the face of this earth. Some kind of exotic story, some kind of a Hollywood movie kind of story, which was unfortunately very real. It was the beginning of the COVID epidemic. The news, the TV, the news agencies are showing people falling down in the streets, crowding the hospitals, and the authorities taking extreme measures like quarantining an entire city that I realize only from the news the magnitude of the city, how big it is, how important it is, and quarantining them in the buildings, and even welding the doors of the buildings not to go out. At that moment, when those images flooded our TV screens, there was no sequencing of the virus, there was no vaccine, there was not a lot of knowledge about the virus. What they knew is that there is there that is attacking the population. The population, the people became ill. They have no idea how to treat it, and people were dying, and people are infecting other people. They even didn't know exactly how the virus is transmitting. Now we have a lot of studies. They were the first images. I mean, the first days, 1, 2, 3, 4 days with the virus from Wuhan, the COVID that became a pandemic, COVID-19. I knew the word pandemic. I knew the word pandemic because I watched TED, Technology Entertaining Design, the the wonderful site where absolutely intelligent, brilliant people, most of the time absolutely intelligent, they talk about various kind of subjects which I like and I enjoy since I was working, even that I was working 12 days, breaking my back literally in Canada, in construction, doing tiles, or before when I was selling used cars, or before when I was a student, or before when I sold furniture, or even my first job cleaning carpets. After a long day, when you come home, you clean up yourself, you eat something you would like to have something to stimulate you intellectually, to learn, to find something beautiful, intelligent, meaningful about the world. And I found this kind of subject on TED, Technology, Entertaining, and Design. That was where I first heard the word pandemic, TED Talk. But I have no idea, of course, about the COVID-19 virus and things like that. I didn't realize in the first day that it's going to be a pandemic, but I knew about SARS and other things through airports, how the virus can travel and spread. I was scared. I said, this is a very bad news. This might be. I was scared being in Bucharest in my bedroom watching TV, in my pajama probably watching TV, but not as scared what I saw on TV, not as scared as people in Wuhan, Chinese people in Wuhan, that under these terrible, terrible, terrible situations, they did something beautiful that impressed me, and made me to go across the street, and even that I had very little money to make myself a t-shirt with Be Strong Wuhan. What they did, being panicked and scared and terrified, being locked down in their building, they went in their balconies and they start shouting one from one balcony to another balcony, to from one building to another building, or in a completely locked down city, from one window, open window, to another open window, shouts of encouragement. Like in Chinese, they put the translation there. Of course, I don't speak Chinese, unfortunately. Be strong, Wuhan. They shout one to another building to encourage one another, and that was an impressive moment for me. Touched my heart. That was a human story that impressed me. A story of resilience in the face of great danger, life-threatening danger on a massive scale, in the face of unknown, what is going to be tomorrow or next day or next week. In the face of harshness, when they were locked down in the building, I mean, the entire life was disrupted. The normal life of their personal life, their families, the city. I've never seen something like that in my life. They try to be strong and they encourage others to be strong. And as we know today there is a vaccine. They know about the virus mutated many times, but definitely Wuhan still stands strong, China still stands strong, Romania have vaccines. I have 3 vaccines. I am boosted and I'm very happy about it. I didn't hesitate. My mother had COVID. She was 80. She had mild symptoms. She was able to go through the virus only with mild symptoms, staying home, which was huge. I did not want to see her in a hospital, and so many cases from hospital went from bad to worse. They entered an ICU and a lot of people died. A lot of people died. But being vaccinated and even myself being in the same house, to my surprise, I tested myself every 2 days, 3 days, and I didn't have the virus staying in the same house. So vaccines do work. Not from today, not from yesterday, not from a week or a month or last year. If you read the history of vaccines, the first that applied vaccines, empirically for sure, but absolutely the same principle, were the Indians in their Ayurvedic, amazing Ayurvedic kind of medicine, and the Chinese in their amazing kind of knowledge of environment and the human body. Be strong, Wuhan. That's the story of my t-shirt. Actually, I made my t-shirt against the flow, against the trend, against the popular, when people start blaming the Chinese for spreading the virus from America, very harsh rhetoric, calling the Chinese virus. I don't think if you look at the virus on the microscope, there is the flag of China there in the DNA of the virus. I think it is a virus. I'm not going to go in those controversies now. What I was interested in is the human story. When people start blaming the Chinese for spreading the virus, I went across the street and I said, no, I like the story. There are good people there. I saw people under threat. I saw people terrified, trying to be strong, do the right thing, and encourage others. Be strong, Wuhan. I want a t-shirt like that. For me, it was as much as a meaningful moment from a human point of view, not geopolitical, not ideological, not East fighting the West. You should read about East fighting the West and West fighting the East. You should read my novel. There are a few pages only. It's not a historical novel. It's a love story, mostly. And it's about friends and having beer and playing ping pong. And it's about peace and stability and building a house, planting a tree. And it has humor, music, movies, books, literature. That's what we like. That's what we enjoyed when we had a beer. That's what we're talking about. Girls, for sure. Life will be boring without beautiful women and girls and passion. The human story. Today, I woke up, I opened the TV, I saw the third day, and I was wrong. I'm so happy to be wrong. Kiev is still standing, didn't fall. I thought overnight, in my previous video, I thought overnight Kiev will fall. I was wrong. Kiev is still standing. Ukraine is still fighting for its independence. None of the major cities fall under the Russian army. I'm so happy to be wrong. But about this, I'm gonna talk in a different video.